Pat Walker here with Mission Winners. It is Sunday and once again time to dive into the ETFs and MAXLIST stocks. So let's go through, and again, weekly on the left, daily on the right. This is a great template. Why do I show this? What looks so-so on a daily might look great on the weekly, or what looks so-so on a weekly might look great on the daily. And in both instances, it helps us make money. You can see this baseline right there. That's the same as this line here, and I'll do something to help you here. Just going across these tops, right across here is where it's at. There it is. And it is, you can say, well, I don't know if that's the same line. Yes, it is, going across right in here. That bar right there corresponds with that bar right there. There you go. And what's it doing? Working. Here's another great tactic for all of you. Don't scrunch up. This will help you. This is from years of experience. Don't scrunch it up so tight you can't make sense of the bars, okay? Loosen it up a little bit so you can see the nuances in the price and volume action, and that will help you. Simple base, take this out. ARK Innovation, also note. And again, this is what we teach in Mission Winners. Look what it did. It picked up on a pickup in volume on today, Friday. Something to watch going forward. There you go. ARK Innovation. Let's move on. ARK Next Generation is also picking up. Had a clean top across here. It lifted up. It's a little bit extended, but it's telling us something. You can punch up ARKW and see what their top 10 holdings are. You may find themes there for things to buy. The industry's telling you it's okay on the daily and the weekly. And again, at Mission Winners, we utilize these techniques. It helps us make better investing decisions. It helps us make more money, and it keeps us safer too. And you'll see why in just a little bit. Biotechnology. You see this kind of sloppy stuff, weekly and daily? What's that tell you? Stay away from biotech. That's why we do this. Literally in 3 seconds, it's just say, I'm not going to buy any I'm not going to look at biotech stocks. Done. Let's move on. Cloud computing. Now this is acting okay. Maybe look into some cloud computing stocks. Yes, we've been involved with some cloud computing, and it's working. Simple base across this top right here too, and I'll draw this right in here to help you. And what's it need to do? Take that top line out. What do you notice? There's some selling distribution in here, right? You got to be careful with that. A little bit of selling. So it needs to take that top out. Here's another very important lesson for everybody. This is a short base. It's less reliable. Longer bases are more reliable. Please remember that. It will help you. And this is the stuff we teach every day at Mission Winners. Energy, kind of choppy here, isn't it? Kind of sloppy, even gapped down on volume. Choppy here too on the weekly. What does that tell you? Be careful with energy. Move on. There's better fish to fry, especially if you're using energy, okay, because you can do it in oil. Okay, I'm teasing. Dow Jones, First Trust Dow Jones Internet, basing nicely. Are we involved with some growth technology stocks? Yeah, and this has been telling you it's working. Now, it's a little bit extended here, okay, so I'm not saying buy it, but what's the trend? It's going up on the daily. It's going up on the weekly. Let it work. Or the stocks in that group, let it work. IBD 50 starts to go and gives it back, starts to go and gives it back. It's a little choppy here. And look at right here, the weekly, little choppy, just be a little cautious there, okay? Again, a lot of fits and starts with it. Gold miners picking up a little. Look at that. Look at that nice base breakout on the daily. And look at what it did today. Gapped up, and look at the volume. There you go. You want to see something neat? Watch this. Oh, it's just going sideways here, and I'll draw the line for you. That's the part that's good about what we do. Simplicity. Think about this, folks. Look for chart setups that everybody can see. Why? Because it increases the odds that A, they see it, and B, they'll buy also. And isn't that what you want? Well, yeah. So it's basing right here. Look at the volume that came into that, coming into it here. Say, gosh, it looks like they're buying it. That's something we might want to watch. Yeah, and look what it does. There you go. Look what it did today on 10/18. There you go. Now it's a little bit extended, but I just gave a powerful lesson on chart analysis, and I hope that helps you. It's what we teach. Same thing's true with junior gold miners, acting okay. A little extended, but it tells you it's all right. GLD we own a couple of different times, and it's working. And what are we doing? We're letting it work. Look at the volume pickup today, closing near the highs. I'm not saying buy it up here. I'm just saying that it's trending nicely. And that simple base breakout right there. Look at the volume on that bar. That's the stuff we key on. Trending, working, let it work. Don't chase it here though. Hack, cybersecurity, acting okay. There's a small base right here. There's another one forming right here. Not a lot of volume on it here though, so be careful with that, all right? I mean, today, what was the volume today? 27,278 shares. Not a lot of volume. Very important lesson for everybody. Be careful buying stocks that don't do a lot of volume because they can go up, but they can drop really fast. You get caught on the wrong side, it'll leave a mark. There's not a really clean entry here. There was here, but not here. So just be aware of that. Let's move on. Again, this is the work we do every day for the VIPs. Biotechnologies, kind of chopping around here a little bit, but a lot of fits and starts. It's going up, they take it down. It's going up, they take it down. Just choppy, sloppy. This isn't clean and simple. Be careful with that. So for now, I just ignore it. Online retail, acting okay. What's one of the stocks in that crew? Oh yeah, I bet you what's that company called? Nile? No. Danube? No. Amazon? There you go. That's why we do what we do, connecting the dots. And it's trending nicely. I'm not saying buy it here, but it guides you to some potential opportunity in other stocks in the group. Software technology, we're involved with software technology, and it's trending nicely. You can see it on the weekly and you can see it on the daily. Good deal. So what does that say? What has it said? Hey, you might want to look at some software stocks. Yeah, do we own some? Yeah, we do. That's simple. It told us to. IHN, and look at this. U.S. medicine, and look what it did today. Out of the blue, it lifted off. Now, what does that tell you? Maybe I should punch up IHI, see what kind of stocks they own. There you go. And it helps you. Now, well, should we buy this pad? It's a little bit extended. Try to buy close to the pivot, the right pivot in the base. Don't chase price. Chasing price shows high emotions, and high emotions isn't good to good decision making. So just want to share. But it does say this group's improving. You can punch up IHI and find out their top 10 holdings. I'll tell you something I bet's in here, okay? A little company called Eli Lilly. I'll bet money on it, and I haven't looked at it. We might look at it at the end of this video, just for the heck of it. Here we go. iShares Midcap, hanging in okay too, trending up nice. That's great. Here you go. You see right here, that line right there? That's the same as this line right there. Oh, you think I'm kidding? And I know you know I'm not. I'm too serious about this. There it is. There, that line right there, that top right there, corresponds with the high on that bar right there. There you go. Right here and right there. Simple base. What is this, by the way? It was a cup and a handle. There you go. Now it is a little extended. I just want to point that out. So don't chase price. Buy close to the pivot or don't buy at all. That'll help you. But it does tell you mid-cap stocks are acting okay. Let's move on. ITA, Aerospace and Defense, is acting okay. We own this ETF and it's working for us. We just let her work and see where it goes. Look at the trend up the ADMA. It's just trending. Now, don't chase it up here. It's too extended. But note the trend on the daily. Note the trend on the weekly. There you go. Continue onwards. Home construction. It's forming a base across here, folks. Oh, look, there's a cup with a handle here. Watch this. I'm doing this real time, by the way. I haven't looked at any of these yet. The market's only been closed for a short time, so I'm making this video on a Friday afternoon. Boy, is that devotion or what? So here it is going through here, and it picked up on a slight pickup in volume. U.S. home construction, nice base. Maybe look into some home building stocks. That's what we do. And it helps us. Leading groups, leading stocks. Growth, acting okay. Are we involved in growth? Yeah, it's told us to, and we didn't need that ETF to tell us. There you go. Is there a clean entry on it here? Not really, but it is trending nicely. Growth. Small caps picking up here a little bit. Look at that. Look at the weekly picking up. What does that say? Oh, the rally's spreading out a little bit. That's good to know. Maybe look into some small cap stocks. Real estate, acting good here. This is a low level base breakout, okay? Not real clean, but it does tell us something. Real estate stocks, maybe look into some. There we go. And again, we look for strength. Transportation's acting okay. You can look at some transport stocks. Airlines, look at that. They're okay. I have to say it. Bad humor. Hey, they're flying. Okay, I'm sorry. Got to have a little fun too. Take what we do very seriously, but enjoy the ride also. Okay, that's important. It acts fine though. Okay, it's a little bit extended, but it has told us maybe look into some airline stocks. Move on. Banks are acting okay. That's good. Have you noticed how many times I've said are acting okay? It's just telling us the rally's all right. Insurance isn't too bad, acting all right. No real clean entry on it, but it's trending up. Regional banking acting okay, going across that top. Looking at some banking. Please know this, by the way. I'm not being the eternal bull. I'm not being like, buy this, buy this. I'm just striving to point out what to look for potential opportunity to make money. There you go. Let's move on. Mid-cap's acting okay. As you can see, that's good to see. Looking at some of those. Home builders, another home building ETF. That looks pretty good. And watch this, please. Simple flat base. And what do you notice about price and volume? Look at the volume pickup. You see that? They bought it, folks. That's institutional buying. There you go. It's telling you they're buying this group. Good. Is it going to continue? We'll wait till Monday and see how it acts. Let's move on. Oil service. What does that tell you? It's kind of in a downtrend, Pat. I think I'm going to stay away from oil service stocks. That's why we do this. In a couple of seconds, we've got more knowledge power related to this sector than most people. They don't know about how to do this. We do. Let's move on. Pharmaceuticals, nothing really great there. Leave it alone. I'm going to pause here and just share this with you. Price, I'll say it again. Price is good above a rising 50-day moving average line. Remember that. Ride them above the 50. When you say to yourself, you know what, stuff below the 50-day, I'm going to kind of leave it alone. Your odds of making money, your potential for make money will improve. That's a fact. And never argue with price. QLD's acting okay. The NASDAQ 100 is a little choppy, but it's trending up. Says, look at some NASDAQ 100 stocks. I think MAXLIST. QQQ, same situation. Retailing's acting okay. Look at the base on the weekly right here. And it's trending up. Look at the daily. It's trending up. That's good to see. You can say, yeah, gosh, I'd like to see it on the daily. Watch this. There you go. Right across here. See these little two tail bars here? That corresponds with this right here. And here's what you do. And it's nothing too fancy. Right in there. Cup with a handle on the daily, cup with a handle on a weekly, and it takes off. Okay. Now, what's the one fly in the ointment? There's not a lot of volume on the weekly, and there's not a lot of volume on the daily. All right. So always combine price and volume action. It will help you. And another great pointer for everybody. This is stuff I teach at Mission Winners all the time. Don't spread the bars out so far that you can't see much of the chart. But also, don't scrunch them up so close you can't really see the nuances of the pattern or price and volume related. Find a spot, a median that you're comfortable with. Find something right in here I think is useful. There you go. I hope that helps you, by the way. I take what I do very seriously. Cloud computing, look at the base on the weekly, and it's lifting up. There was another base here on the daily. It tells you, hey, maybe look into some cloud computing stocks. And it has been telling you to look into some. Look at the weekly chart. There you go. Things we look at, things we do. Silver picked up today. Look at that. What does that tell us? Maybe looking at some silver stocks. By the way, I'm not going crazy here saying buy everything. I'm saying look into them. Oh, you get some, well, gosh, how many do I have to look into? Silver stocks. Just look at the ones that are within 10% of 52-week highs. That's it. Oh, and everything over $12 a share that does more than 200,000 shares a day. Now you've got yourself a list, a screen to narrow down to the best of the best. I don't have time to look at thousands of charts, okay? Why not look at the best of the best? There you go. That'll help. What I just shared with you, It's a powerful statement, a powerful thought, and a powerful tactic. And I've done it that way since the late 1980s. There you go. I managed money through the crash of 87. And thank God we were out before then. Okay. Steel. Chopping here, kind of choppy here. Just be a little careful with that. Oh, by the way, credit where credit's due. Who really guided me through a lot of that and gave me some wisdom? A man named Martin Zweig, ZWEIG. I was grateful to met him a couple of times. What a nice man. He was one of my heroes. A kind, soft-spoken man. If you don't know that name, ZWEIG, Martin Zweig, look him up. It was great meeting with him and talking to him about some stuff a couple of times. Let's continue onward here. SMH, heavy selling on that bar right there. Do you see that? Be careful with that. Just kind of watch out for the semiconductors. Same with this. Look at the selling on this one, the leveraged one. Just tells you to be careful. That's all. This time, there's nothing really good with it. Spiders are hanging in okay. Look at it, broke out of this little base right here, forming a little base right here. Oh, by the way, you can't catch me in a lie. I already have a price alert set here and here. We're ready to go. I'm doing this after the close on Friday. Man, I lead an exciting life. Here we go. SSO, same situation. Solar, what does that tell you? Stay away. Stay away. That's it. Nothing to do with it. Stay away from solar stocks. Small cap picking up a little bit. That's nice to see. There you go. Just like to see a little bit more volume. Okay. By the way, this is a triple leveraged ETF. It moves faster. Be aware of the leveraged ETFs. I'm not saying don't buy them. I'm saying they can move up fast, but they can move down fast. And you know what you call that in the business? That's called a haircut. Okay. I can say that. I don't need one anymore. Oil, leave it alone. Nothing doing there. Aerospace and defense acting okay, trending nicely. Maybe look into the ETF. There's no clean entry on it now, but maybe look into XAR, some of the leading stocks in there. Biotech's kind of loose right here. Be careful with that. Home building's acting all right. Look at that. And you can see the space across here. Something to watch going forward. Not just the stock, but also the ETF, right? The ETF and the ETFs that make up are the stocks that make up the ETF. Some home building stocks. There you go. XLB, materials picking up. How do you build houses? How do you build houses? You need materials. It's acting okay. There we go. Look for a, oh, by the way, I want to take this a step further to help you. Take that out with volume. There you go. By the way, on this video, this isn't just a video of giving ideas. This is a video of education, educating what to look for. Most people don't know what to look for, and nobody teaches you. We teach what to look for, and it's not fancy, but it works. It will help you make better investing decisions, make money, and also be safer. And I will say it again, never argue with price. There you go. Let's continue onwards here. We're about done. Communications is acting okay. You know, not a real clean entry on it at this point in time. Okay, but it's acting all right. XLE, ragged, leave it alone. Energy, nothing there. Financials acting okay. Look at that simple base. I drove this a couple weeks ago. Look at that. And look at the volume pickup on that bar. Watch this. I love this stuff. Oh, it's going sideways here. Fell on some heavy volume. It needs to take out these tops across here, and it needs to do it with volume. Okay. By the way, we'll do something here just to make this more precise for you. And don't think you have to always get these lines to the penny. Please don't do that. Just get close to it. There it is. Just the clean tops. What do we want to see? Needs to take out that line. Take out those tops. Needs to do it with volume, folks. Oh, look, it did. And look at the volume pickup. People saw what we saw, and they voted. They bought. And we'll refresh this and kick there. And here it is now. There's the bar, and there it goes. Very important lesson for everybody. Oh, this is good. This is great. It's too extended to buy here. This is for everybody. Please, I mean this. Buy close to the pivot or don't buy at all. Don't chase price. Because if you do, if it starts to drop, you've greatly magnified the potential for bigger losses. Don't do that to yourself. Two types of capital in the market, folks: financial capital and mental capital. Protect both of them. I mean it. I mean it. Let's continue on. Industrials acting okay, trending nicely. Look at the trend up the ADMA. It's a little extended to do anything, but what does it tell us? Hey, industrial stocks are acting okay. Maybe there's a couple that haven't broken out yet. There you are. Take a look. The technology is still a little choppy here. And note this. Look at the drop down on volume. Just says be a little cautious with technology. There we go. Consumer staples, there's no power there. Just leave that alone at this point in time. Utilities are acting okay. All right. Maybe looking at some utilities. Healthcare, kind of lagging, isn't it? I mean, watch this. Oh, that's trending up nicely on the weekly. That's why I have weekly and daily. Oh, look at that. I ain't doing nothing. Maybe stay away from healthcare for right now. There you go. Continue onward. Consumer discretionary is acting okay. Look into those and see if you can find something. By the way, I know I go a little faster talking, but there's a reason why. So that you're not sitting here just languishing for a long time listening. Let's get down to it. Out of respect for you. Metals and mining, look at the weekly base. Isn't that nice? And you look at this and you go, I don't see that. I guess I missed something. This is why I use this template. The weekly shows stuff that the daily doesn't. So then you can say, well, just scrunch the daily up like this. But you know what can happen there? It can be too hard to see the nuances in the price and volume action. That's why at Mission Winners, whenever I run my scans and screens, I have weekly on the left and daily on the right. And I do the exact same thing with Market Surge. There you go. Let's move on here. This is a little extended. Oil, leave it alone. There's nothing there. Retailing's picking up a little bit. I like the tops up here. Okay. And there's lines across here too. Right there. And I'll draw this to help you. There you go. Simple base there. Perhaps take this out with volume. Look into some retailing stocks. But what's one thing you notice? Boy, Pat, that baby sure does whip around. Yep. What does that tell us? There's not a lot of conviction to stay with it. Any sign of weakness, they take that baby down. Be aware of that. Okay. Is that going to continue? I don't know, but that's what's happening right now. So just be aware. We're about done here. Okay. Software, look at that picking up nicely. Yeah, we've been involved with software. Yeah, sure. It's trending up nice. There you go. Trends pay. And we go back to the top.
Hey everyone, Owen here. Thanks for sticking around through Pat's ETF review. Some great insights there as always. To help you harness investment strategies, we're excited to announce an upcoming webinar titled Building a Solid Trading Strategy from Scratch. This year, the markets have shown remarkable activity, and we've strategically positioned ourselves to thrive. Our VIPs are always our number one priority, with our flagship product, the Key List, that is prepared nightly to ensure we are ready to capitalize on market movements. Our amazing VIP Discord community, our live chart analysis and Q&A sessions, and so much more. We just wanted to reach out and share with our wonderful YouTube community a small portion of what the VIP members get. So during the webinar, we'll explore effective risk management, how to size your positions correctly, and how to craft precise entry and exit strategies. We'll integrate these elements with real examples from our Key List, showing how they capture the best market opportunities. If you're looking to elevate your trading game, this webinar will help you learn from proven strategies and refine your approach. Join us on Wednesday, October 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern to transform your trading techniques. Until next time, keep trading smart. Now I'll hand it back to Pat to dive into the MAXLIST review, where we'll explore some of the top stocks on Pat's radar. Let's get started.
These are the big name institutional stocks. And when they get going, there is a lot of money to be made in this. There's Apple, ran up here. It's a little loose, but you can see these tops on the weekly. This is why we look at both daily and weekly. You see this and goes a little choppy, but then you look at this base, these lines right here, and I'll draw this to help you. This is what I teach and coach at Mission Winners. Like I said, I did this at IBD meetup on the big stage forever. And I loved it. Simple base there, working across these tops. Ran up, okay, on good volume, pulled back on less volume, and it's hanging in there. You look at this and you say, well, that's all right. But then you look at the weekly, so, oh, that doesn't look too bad. maybe it's going to continue. And I said something very important. I said maybe. I never said, oh, this is what's going to happen. Nobody knows the future. And this is a powerful statement I want to share with all of you. When we accept the fact we don't know the future, we see the future more clearly. And that's not being cute and funny. It's a fact. We get in line with what's happening and we don't impose our will on the stocks. Let's move on here. There's Amazon, started to lift off today, and you can see it ran up, backed off a little bit, still closed above that pivot line right here. I want to see this start to push, okay? There was a volume pickup today, so we'll watch and see what happens. See, I have the price alert set right there. We'll watch this and see what happens. We bought a little bit, just kind of chopping around here. We'll watch, and it'll tell us what to do. That's it. Very important lesson. I said something very powerful there. We bought a little bit, okay? Never buy a full position at one time. Never. Ease into the stock. Let price and volume earn the right for you to buy more. That will really help you, okay? Let's continue onwards. Move on to here. Alibaba, what do you say there? I say leave it alone for right now. There's nothing really great going on. Needs to show some power, and until it does, just wait. Oh, what could be a potential setup? It bounces right here off the 21 EMA, and it does it with volume. There you go. Let's move on. BIDU, leave it alone. There's nothing good there. Just leave it. Don't overthink it. I'm looking for strength. Does that look like strength to you? No. You're looking for strength. It's not there. Continue onward. Google, there's a base across here. I'm going to get rid of this downward sloping trend line. We'll get rid of this one right here. And it's just chopping around. But you can see it runs up and backs off. And it does it here, 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 and here. It's just pointing something out to help. It tells us there's sellers there. You can't argue with it. Every time it goes up there, it drops off. There is a base here, okay? And you can see it on the weekly too, a higher level base. And I'll draw this. I'll get rid of this for a minute. I'll draw this to help you. And again, I love teaching this stuff. There it is. Pretty much the same line. Needs to go across these tops here on the weekly and or the daily, and it needs to do it with volume. And until that happens, we just have to leave it alone. That's all. Is it going to do it next week? Do you know the future? I don't. We simply get in line with what is. Let's move on here. What do you say? Goldman Sachs, simple base breakout right here, and here's the weekly base. Look at that. This is why we look at the daily. You could start to get in here, and it pushes across that line right there, which is the weekly line, and you buy more. And we did. There you go. Golden slacks. There we are. I know that's old broker lingo, okay? So, MasterCard, simple base breakout right here. And it's working. There was a downward sloping trend line here too, okay? But note this is a recent one right here, and it's working. We let it work and see what happens. Now, I am not saying, oh, let's buy it here. No, it's too extended. This is a very important lesson for everybody. Buy close to the pivot. Don't chase price, okay? That's where you can get chewed up. You buy close to the base breakout with volume, or you don't buy it at all. There it is. It's working. It's owned, yes. Most of these that I show you that, I talk about that way, yes, they're owned. All four. Meta, yes, it's owned. Lower level base right here, and it's trending nicely. Isn't that great? By the way, you see that line? I'll show you. This will help you. Here it is on the weekly. Right there. There you go. And it's trending nicely. Do we own it? Yes, several times. Have we sold some into strength? Yes. And now what are we doing? We're letting it work. Trends again will pay. We'll see what happens. Let's move on. What do you say there? Microsoft's kind of choppy here. There's no real clean entry at this point in time. Okay? As you can tell. I mean, it started to lift off and they took it right back down. Kind of loose and choppy down here. Be careful with that. Not clean and simple. Netflix. This was a good run for us back. I'll go way back for you. That was a good run right there. And we locked some. Well, I won't go back that far. We'll leave that alone. Here we go. Let's refresh. Now, this gapped up on the daily today. Why? It had earnings. Earnings did that. And you said, gosh, we should have bought it before earnings. Oh, it could have easily gapped down. This is for everybody. And I've been doing this a long time. Do not buy just before earnings. It's too risky. You go, God, I'll miss a big gap up. Oh, yeah. Or you'll miss a big gap down. So just getting in line with what is. Protect. There's two forms of capital in the market, financial capital and mental capital. Protect both of them. Buying something and then having a big gap down will mess up your mental capital. And it can cause you to be afraid, to act afraid. And that's not good for investing. So we have rules and tactics that help us in that realm. NVIDIA's working, own it from lower. This was one from, look at that run right there. This was on the key list back here around $52 a share, 52 up to over 140. There it is. Did we sell at the top? No. But did we catch the lion's shares of that? You bet you did. And then there's another base, lower level base here. We bought it here, and we're in good shape. We'll watch and see what happens. Now, you want to see something neat? This is why we have this template. I designed this a long time ago, but you can say, it's going up. I don't see another entry on it. But then you look at the weekly and you go, what's the high on this bar? 140.76. What's the high on this bar? 140.89. That's pretty darn close, isn't it? Here you go. Right in here. So what does that say? If it takes out these tops here, this is a big cup, folks. There might be a good buy there, and there's some accumulation occurring in there. I'm going to refresh this too. Hold on just a second. There we go. We're set. Now we watch it and see what happens. Let's move, but it's got to take out this top here, and it has to do it with volume. Let's move on. Block. Look at this downward sloping trend line. That's the same line here as here. Downward sloping trend line. Volume starts coming into it, and it's working for us. And what are we doing? This is the 8-period exponential moving average line. Ed Sakota and his work had a profound impact on me, and I had the great pleasure of meeting him years ago. And man, did he challenge me in great ways. I'm thankful to have met him. If you don't know who Ed Sakota is, Google him. SKYY. It was intriguing. When we were talking, it was just him and me one-on-one. Every time I said something, he'd look at me and say, tilt his head back and look through his bifocals, and he'd say, why do you think that is? And he wasn't being a jerk. He was challenging me to think about things and think through things. And it made me a better investor. And for that, I'm thankful. I didn't say trader, I said investor. I haven't looked at a 5-minute chart this year. Okay, I don't do that. So it's working, we let it work. Moving on, Tesla. Tesla's been good to us through the years, but right now there's not too much there, is there? Look at the weekly. Look at it falling on heavy volume. Look at that gap down on the daily. Until it starts throwing some power, leave it alone. And I'll say this again. It sounds corny, but it's a fact. The air is better above a rising 50-day moving average line. It's not there, so you just got to sit tight. And you can see, looking at the weekly, there's some selling in there, folks. See those red volume bars? Tells you to be a little cautious there with the stock. Visa's working here. Simple base breakout right there. And it's trending nicely. There's a weekly. Here's the daily. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. Now, maybe what it's going to do is form a handle here, and that could be another entry. All right, team, that's our weekly review. Hope it helps you get a clearer picture of where the market's headed and what stocks to keep an eye on. By the way, don't forget about our weekly top stocks to have on your watch list video coming out tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're curious about what we covered last week, you can find the link to that video in the top right corner. Remember, these watch list videos are just a small taste of what our VIP members get with the daily key list videos on missionwinners.com. So if you're serious about finding those super performance stocks, consider joining us. Now, I'm curious to hear from you. What are your thoughts on today's market review? Do you have any questions or concerns? Feel free to drop a comment below. I love hearing from you. Thanks for sticking around for the whole video. If you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. And remember, stay sharp, keep learning, and keep finding those winners.